All right. Let's rock and roll and see what happens here. Let me make sure I got everything up. Let's do this. Okay, good. It's rolling. I think we're rolling. Yeah, we're rolling now. All right. I don't know if anybody expected me on tonight. I'm winging this. Okay. I'm winging tonight because I didn't know what my travel schedule was going to be like. Hey everybody, I'll let people jump on. I'm just checking all my stuff here. Good. Okay, people are jumping on. Awesome. Cool. So, I'm not going to go long tonight for obvious reasons. Dr. Jason Dean, Revolution Network, your source for health, freedom, and knowledge. Hi, everybody. So I landed. I'm home. We're going to keep this short tonight. But I did want to give you a little bit of an update. And there was something I kept getting the same question over the weekend over and over, which was traveling in those damn masks. Okay. So as people jump on, so if you didn't hear, last night I did a quick live from the party at the hotel, and told you that the weekend went literally perfect from an event standpoint. And I will actually tag, I think I'll share the picture that Dr. Billy DeMoss, I think, shared tonight, which was all of us at the hotel at the event. We took a really great picture. I'll share that as well. And we had a blast. Everything was perfect. I didn't post anything crazy because nothing crazy happened. It was just a really good time. And everything I said last night was exactly how it went. The worst part of the whole thing was anytime I fly to the West Coast, I would take a direct flight because it's a haul. There was no direct flights available because of the whole thing. So I literally had to, they turned into 9 to 10 hour days of flying, a lot of times just sitting in an airport. So that's not fun, and I would not do that. Typically I would go direct, but either way, I've traveled enough. I'm used to that. So you'll get around travel. So now I just get to go to bed early tonight and reset the clock a little bit and back to the office tomorrow. So no worries if you are out in a different state. Trust me, I've been talking to some of my connections this weekend, and we're gonna work to make some things happen to get some states, because it sounds like Chicago is being stupid. I have not read into this fully, but it sounded like the mayor there, I think, actually had cars towed at church. I don't know if that's official. I did not look deep into it. But apparently the president obviously said, this is what we're doing. Churches are essential. And I heard she did some stupid stuff. So I don't know how true that is. I'll have to look into it. So here's the big thing I want to talk about tonight. And maybe I'll take a couple questions, again, keeping this short, is how to travel and what to say. Because I know a lot of you are traveling or do travel and you're worried about the masks. So a couple weeks ago, Reuters put out an article saying that like Delta, American, I think JetBlue, I don't know how Southwest is being with it, but they can't, the airline, the flight attendants can't force the mask. They can educate, but they can't force it. So this is what I did. Some of this you can do. Some of this only I can do technically, because I actually had a doctor's letter written, okay? Now, I never had to go to that, okay? But this is what you do first. If you are flying and you can't get a doctor's note, okay, what you need to do is you need to just be very confident with yourself. So here's some tips behind the scenes. And my wife even reminded me this before I left. She said, okay, even though you're not flying out there for business, don't wear like sweatpants, don't wear like a t-shirt, and don't wear like, to be comfortable. So I dressed very professionally, meaning I had my dress shoes on. I did wear jeans, but I wore a dress shirt and then I wore a jacket. So with that, you're giving the perception, and some people won't agree with this, but this is how the world works. Okay, give the perception that you're important, and give the perception that you're like up here. Okay, and I hope everyone understands what that means. Because everyone else is just kind of, it's unfortunately, we're dealing with a lot of sheep, and I love all of humanity, but some people are more awake and some people are not. And you're dealing with people at the gate who are, there's no CDC officials around anywhere, obviously. And I don't even know if they have CDC officials. There's no doctors anywhere. They're going to call anything. There's no, I never saw any police. I never saw any authorities, anything like that. It was literally just the people running the gates, the airline people, and then public. And most of the restaurants and most of the stores are closed in the airport. So my thought process on it is just act very confident, which I am anyway. And I travel all the time anyway. So I before all this happened, I typically would travel over the last 20 years, 15 years maybe. I was traveling usually once a month, sometimes a couple times a month. So traveling is, I'm just used to it. So dress a certain way, because if you dress a certain way, they're not going to question you, right? It's one of those things that you're told in a lot of professions is fake it till you make it. So even if you don't travel a lot, dress really nice, and so they won't bother you. They don't bother people that are dressed nice, right? Like business class type people. The other thing is, you have to, and some people may not like this, but you have to say you have a medical condition. Okay. Now, as soon as you say medical condition, they leave you alone. Now, do I have a medical condition? Well, if my adrenals are not happy, I will have a little cough, which you guys have heard. So I do not want to be breathing in my own carbon dioxide. Now, keep in mind, if you breathe in carbon dioxide, that's not a good thing. So technically in my world, under my definition of medical, would be breathing in carbon dioxide. So I'm not lying. I'm in a gray area. You have to learn how to push the envelope sometimes in the gray area. I hope that makes sense. Now, it also helps being a physician and knowing the rules and how the rules work. If someone tells me, if I was not a doctor and someone tells me they have a medical condition, guess what? They're not going to ask you what it is, because you have privacy laws. So according to many different laws, but also the ADA, you don't have to tell anybody what your medical condition is. So even if I say medical condition, they have to stop right there. They can't ask me, right? That's the rule. That's the law. Use these things to your advantage, okay? You really do have to do that. So when I got to Orlando, no one asked me anything. I jumped right onto the plane, but I actually did go up to the gate and I said, hey, just so you know, I want to let everyone know. And I had a smile on my face. I was very nice. I basically said to the ladies there, I said, just so you know, I won't be wearing a mask, but what it is I just have a lung medical condition, and I'm just not going to have one, so you know. And they're like, oh, okay, no problem. They were super nice. That was the end of the conversation. Simple, right? Done. Charlotte, same thing. Done. Nothing was ever asked of me. Okay, so on the way out there, literally zero questions. No one looked at me weird. No one questioned anything like that. Okay. Coming back, when I was sitting in Sacramento early this morning, this was kind of funny. The lady at the front, the person at the gate, she started taking masks around to everyone around us in the gate area to hand out masks. Now, I'm the only one sitting there amongst about 50 people with no mask on. And she literally looked right at me. She didn't say anything about me not having a mask, and she walked by me and like totally ignored me, like as in like almost like I was a ghost. I wasn't there. And I think, again, having confidence in what I was doing, she kind of just looked past me. So when she was done, I actually went up to her and said, hey, just so you know, I'm not wearing a mask, but it's because a medical lung condition. And keep in mind, when I say medical, I'm saying anything not normal. Okay, so I'm using that word very, very strategically. Remember, if the president can play 5D chess, so can we. All right, and she said, no problem, absolutely, that's fine. And she was very nice. Got on the plane, no problem, everything was good. The next flight, I got on. No one at the gate said anything. And then I went in, and the flight attendant said, oh, do you have a mask, sir? And I said, no, ma'am, it's a medical exemption. And she was, okay, no problem. That was literally it. That was The only questions I had all weekend, no one ever asked me anything more than that. So I want you guys to be strategic. If you have to travel, trust me, not to put anybody down for any industry, but keep in mind, these people that work for the airlines, they're really nice people. They're really good people. First of all, they're under a lot of stress because of everything going on. This is obviously abnormal for them. So treat them with really good, like a ton of respect. Be very nice to them. Go up to them ahead of time and just say, hey, I just want to let you know this is what's going on. And keep in mind, if you go up there and you say medical, they can't ask you. No one has a right to ask you what is going on. They can't ask you your medical background without you giving permission to do them. Okay, so this is my physician background talking. No one has to give their medical information unless you give them permission to do that. Okay, so that's very important. So know that. All right. Now, as far as I'm concerned, any person breathing carbon dioxide in, their own carbon dioxide, I consider that a medical problem. So you can use that strategically however you decide to use that, right? And then worst case scenario is you can get a doctor's letter saying that you have a medical condition. They don't even have to say what it is, that you don't need to wear a mask. Keep in mind, they can't force you through medical reasons to wear a mask. Nobody can, all right? It's that simple. So that's what I would use. That's how I would do it. And you know, if you think that's not, you know, ethical for you or it's not right for you, then do whatever you need to do. But for me, I know how the rules work, and quite honestly, at the end of the day, I'm not breathing in my own air. I'm not going to do it, and I'm not doing it for many reasons. I'm not doing it, one, because I don't want. I'll be honest with you. If you take anything and you put it up here like this to me, I don't even like the claustrophobia of having something in my face. I don't like that stuff. I like my space. Okay, so I don't even know how well I would do with one on. But that's, you know, to each their own. So figure out for yourself what you need to do. But I will tell you, keep in mind, stop listening to people who are not authority over your life, right? I mean, everyone asks, what do I do? What do I do? Be you, right? If you don't like it, you don't like it. And then at the end of the day, I'm not wearing a damn mask because I don't agree with this whole thing, all right? It's ridiculous. It's completely illogical. It's ridiculous. They're having over the loudspeaker in the airports, they're talking about social distancing. There's nobody social distancing in the airports, right? And then even if you did, if you're expelling air, by the way, of all the people I saw in all the airports, maybe half were wearing masks, half were not wearing masks. Most of them were wearing it completely incorrectly. So just know that. No one knows what they're doing with the masks. This is a completely insane thing. And I will tell you, again, be very nice and be kind to all the flight attendants, all the airline people, etc., right? They're not there. If you give them a hard time, you're going to have problems, right? Be kind. When you do that, they'll give you the world. I mean, I'll tell you, even before this all happened, I would literally go up and just check in and say hi to them or whatever if I needed something. And usually when I was nice, they'd give me upgrades just for free because you're being nice to them. Remember, they deal with a lot of crap all day long. So this is not on them. I never blame them for this. I'm not upset with them over this. They're just doing their job. If you stay kind to them, they will stay kind to you. And other than that, that was about it. It was an easy weekend from a flight standpoint. We had a blast there. And again, if you're in another state that stuff's going on, then let us know because we can't stop this. If you think you can just go to one city or one town, protest one weekend, and it's all over, you're going to get your rights back, not going to happen. I will tell you, at the very end, Greg Anderson at the protests spoke, and what he did was he actually offered to just shake the hand of one of the authorities or one of the police enforcement men that was standing on the state capitol yard. And I walked around the state capitol. There were hundreds of authority, police, guards there, whatever you want to call it. They were dressed in black. They were packing heat. They had masks on. Greg offered he said, you're on our side. We're not against you, right? You follow the Constitution just like us. Hey, let's shake hands and let's be on the same side. That's cool. And from what I understood, they got the authority in their earpieces got the word from the top, from Governor Newsom, to stand down and do not mingle, do not shake hands, do not hug anybody out there. Meaning, like, Governor Newsom is taking this as if we are the enemy. Now, I'm not the enemy. I'm in Florida, but as in the California people are the enemy. So California, you're not going to just get everything back overnight. I can tell you that. You're like, wherever you are, whether it's Chicago, whether it's, state of Illinois, California, New York, Pennsylvania, all these other states that are going nuts, you are literally going to have to start planning protests, peaceful protests from now until election. And if it's every weekend, it's every weekend. I'm telling you right now, put your life events on hold for the most part, your vacations, whatever it is. You can go on your vacation, but other than that, you better start really putting together organizations that will have peaceful protests, whether it's every weekend, every other weekend, I don't know, to make this happen, because 10,000 people showing up at the state capitol, Sacramento, California, is a good start, but it's not anywhere close to the end. If you think Newsom's just going to flip over tomorrow, not going to happen. Not going to happen at all. Nor is Illinois, nor is New York, okay? This is a long-term marathon, right? Until at least the election. And by the way, rumors are that we are going to have a spike again in the coronavirus through probably fall. It's gonna ramp up. Now, how are they gonna do it? I don't know. But these other states are trying to stay shut down all the way through the election. So keep in mind, that's what's going on. I'm going to keep it short tonight, so that's all I'm going to do. I have more stuff I'll bring to you, but I'm going to get some sleep. I got to reset my clock tonight, or it will not be a pleasant day tomorrow, just because I have to see patients and I want to be good for them. So if you have any questions, let me know now, and then we're going to wrap it up. I actually did a good job at wrapping it up tonight. This is shocking. If you have questions, drop them. About this weekend, about the mass, I'll answer whatever you want to over the next probably 3 or 4 minutes, and then we'll have a wonderful Sunday night. How does that sound? So let me hear what they are. Can Trump and Barr go over these tyrannical state or governors? Can they? They could technically, but that's part of the chess game. He doesn't want to, because it also helps him get elected, is knowing that these places are a fraud. So I don't think he's going to do it. Now, the church thing, that was a very strategic thing. I think that was pretty brilliant. So, yeah. Yes, I do work tomorrow. I am a practicing physician all week. I do this and that. So I am back in tomorrow. And yes, Memorial Day. I work on Memorial Day. We do not take a lot of holidays off, because guess what? We're in healthcare and we put patients first. And trust me, sometimes like Memorial Day are our busiest days. I love what I do. If I had to like hang out or go to the beach, I would be bored. Right? I stay on purpose. We got things to do. Masks are immunocompromised. Well, by the way, masks and gloves. The other problem with masks and gloves, it's not supposed to be worn that long. So that's a whole other thing. The Q clock on the 29th. Yeah, so I'm not going to go into that tonight, but I'll go into that this week. Okay. Yes, there's a thing with the Q clock. I'm still looking at it. But yes, there is something with that. There's a ton of stuff on Twitter right now. There's a ton of stuff I'll have for you probably starting tomorrow and Tuesday. I'm just keeping it short tonight because of me needing to get some sleep. But I wanted to bring information to you because I don't want to fall off the radar for you. One of my favorite things was meeting so many awesome people this weekend who watched the show, and it was so wonderful. I appreciate all of you. You're amazing, and I will continue to do anything for you that I can do to help all of us keep this country going where it's supposed to go. Fauci indictment, I haven't watched that whole video. I saw it, but I haven't watched the whole thing. I don't know how much. Again, I'm a little skeptical on some of that stuff. Yes, John Kerry met with the Iranians. Yeah, that was a long time ago. So some of the Q drops that you saw in the last, like today, some of those are for people who've never known about that. Like, so he's dropping some stuff for newbies that if you weren't part of the movement like years ago, he's just kind of keeping everybody refreshed. But that's been known for some time. John Kerry's daughter's married to an Iranian official, so that they're really deep into that. Okay, couple more. Yes, JFK birthday's on the 29th. Let's see. You're very welcome for coming to California. I loved it. It was great. I like traveling. Traveling's fun for me, so it doesn't bother me. I just need to get obviously sleep to reset the clock because it's a 3-hour time difference. Good. All right. One or two more questions and then I wrap it up for tonight. Let's see. NESARA this year or 2024? I'm not going to predict, but I would speculate probably maybe next year. They can't reset anything till next year because the president has to play a very tight. So the president has to get elected. So whether you are freaking out over the vaccine thing because of what he's saying, or you're freaking out over the financial thing that he has to say, or anything he's talking about right now that it's not going the way we want to, he has to get elected. He's not going to drop any bombs, most likely, until after the election's over. They have to win the election. It's that simple. My good friend Carolyn Griffin, she was awesome this weekend. Her family is fantastic. Every time I go out to California, between Carolyn and her family, DeMoss and his family, Glowacki and his family, and all those other wonderful California people, they always take very good care of me. It's my extended chiropractic family of California. Good. Okay. Anything can be overturned by the president, technically, but keep in mind, the president is also trying to go by the Constitution. So we don't want to get into a dictatorship mentality. Remember, the states are supposed to dictate their own state. I think he was being strategic with the church opening thing because he knows also, by the way, keep in mind, the president also knows his base is the Christian right? The conservatives. He knows that. He's not stupid. Why do you think he opened up the churches? Why do you think he's going to bypass the states? If the church wasn't his base, he wouldn't have opened up the churches. Not because he doesn't believe in it, but it's political, guys. Like, this is the game. I mean, just like moron Biden saying you ain't black. Like, now I am not a person who jumps at racist things because I think racism is stupid. I don't think anyone is born racist. I believe it's all learned and the media perpetuates the whole thing, right? Like, it's completely insane that the Democratic cabal, deep state, whatever it is, they created racism, right? That's what they did. So I understand, yes, there has been racism. People are affected by it. There are parts of the country where it's still really bad, in very small areas where there's still very ignorant, uneducated people who think black people are less, which is completely wrong, inhumane. But that's the stupidity of Joe Biden of saying something like that, which is completely ludicrous. But you keep in mind, if the Democrats, deep state, did not have the inner city black vote and the poor black vote, they would never get elected. That's the only way they get elected, is because the inner cities go blue, because they hand out welfare left and right. It's that simple. That's politics. Right, that's been there for a long period of time. The good thing is we have people like Candace Owens. I think it's David Harris Jr., another amazing black man who is very educated and waking up the black community. The good thing is you have people like that who are waking up the inner cities and the black community, and also keep in mind the lower class community as well, because at the end of the day, when you have a strong economy, you have everyone working. That's how you actually get rid of class systems. That's how you get rid of racism, is you actually get people educated so they don't think dumb things that like someone is less than another person. That's completely insane. So I don't like saying this because this is playing politics, but if any Republican or any conservative or any libertarian or any constitutionalist ever said the words that Joe Biden said, whatever it was, yesterday, the day before, they would be torn apart. If the president of the United States said what Joe Biden said yesterday, they would have absolutely destroyed him in the media, right? But keep in mind, the media is bought and sold. They're bought out. It's that simple. So, yeah, completely insane. But the church thing was strategic. It was a brilliant move. Now, obviously, I think the president does feel that way. But he's not stupid. He knows what to do. He knows how to turn this thing over. And then on Friday as well, Governor DeSantis opened up Florida to all the kids' activities, sports, church stuff, etc. So you have all the states opening except for the blue states. Okay, good. Awesome. I think that's about it. Again, I just went on a little bit of a rant there, but so that wasted or used some time, I should say. So I'm going to finish it off, guys. I'm going to go reset my clock and get ready to rock and roll tomorrow. And I have some really cool information for you guys tomorrow. I've learned more on 5G, but not 5G itself. I learned more on who's behind some of it and who and where the sources are coming from. So I'm going to give you some actually really interesting inside information on that tomorrow. And then there's just a whole bunch of stuff going on. So we will rock and roll and get you guys all learned up on what's happening. And we're going to take this country back, and we're going to keep doing amazing things. So awesome. Beautiful. Guys, have an amazing night. Ladies and gentlemen, I appreciate all of you. Again, I cannot repeat enough. Thank you so much for all of you that came up to me on Saturday and said hello, and you appreciate the show. That makes me feel amazing, and it makes me it keeps my energy constantly going to bring this stuff to you. So thank you so much. I hope I continue to bring value to you and information, and we're just going to keep chugging along on this train, and we are going to win our country back for ourselves again, and have an amazing world. All right. Dr. Jason Dean, Revolution Network, signing off on a Sunday night to go get some rest. You guys have a blessed evening. Have an amazing Memorial Day tomorrow. I'll tell you again tomorrow, but have an amazing Memorial Day. And remember, especially at this time, remember what a Memorial Day actually is. This is not a day just to go barbecue and have hamburgers and beer and everything else. It's to literally remember those who put everything on the line for where we are right now, right? Yes, we have a central bank system that has created a slave system, but our country is founded upon people who gave everything to keep us as free as humanly possible. So we have to remember that, okay? We have a military for national defense, and we should respect all of those that stand for that and have stood for us. So happy Memorial Day, everybody. Have an amazing evening. Take care. Signing off. Bye-bye.